Welcome to Yeshiva Daf, your sponsor, Nishmas Navi Akashom Leab Sitzchok. We're holding in Sanhedrin Daf Chof Aleph. We have here a Daf which is almost Kuloi Agadata. We'll see. Zog the Mishnah. Lo Yarbel Lo Yinoshim El Shmona Esrei. A king should not have more than 18 wives. He could have more. As long as they don't cause him to stop keeping the Torah and the mitzvahs. Yeshiva Daf, one, and she's Mesiras Liboy, Harez Lo Yiseina. Kelama Ne'emar Lo Yarbel Noshim, Dafilu Kavigai. Said of Shiv the opposite. Avigai was a big tzaddikus, that he cannot have more than 18 women, even if they're big tzaddikus. If they're not tzaddikus, even one he should not have. So come on, the name of the Yeshiva Dorish time in the Krov, Rabbi Shimon Lo Dorish time in the Krov. Ashra, Rabbi Yudo is saying, what's the reasoning of the pasuk? She should not Mesiras Liboy. But if they're not Mesiras Liboy, you can have as many wives as you want. Rabbi Shimon says the exact opposite. I don't care what the reason is. You can't have more than 18. So we saw the exact opposite. This is the classic case of time of the crow. And it says that you're not allowed to go to Almono, you should have a mashkin Almono. So it says, so it says Rabbi Yudo, it doesn't matter if she's poor or rich, the Torah says don't take from Almono. Shema lo tachbol birkat Almono, the Rabbi Yudo. Depends if she's rich or poor. Why? Why a woman? Why a ani not? So the word explains. Meaning, what's the problem with Aniya? Aniya, she needs the clothing. The din in the Torah is that for the poor you return it, and for the rich you don't. So the poor you have to give it back. She goes every night to give back the clothing to the almana. It'll be a bad name. I mean, I call now. The more explains what does it mean. I call now. Do mashkim to return to her, but tamasir shira mishkan sale. So you may listen to Shimon. That's only for the poor. It applies, not for the rich. Almor, you did loy dorish time in the krov. Shimon dorish time in the krov. So exact opposite. You know, I don't care. I don't care what the reason. The Torah says not to do it. Shimon says, let's look at the reasoning of the Torah. So usually, Rabbi does not dorish time in the krov. Shani Ochodim fire time in the krov. The Torah here explains itself. Here the Torah explains, it's very clear, why can't you have many wives? Shimon says, usually we have Dash time the call. Can lift a call Loyarbel and Noshim Belishnik. Shimon Lashitase. Nothing was going exact opposite. Shimon that holds he always Dash the call, time in the call. So here you have time in the call. It said, why do you have to explain to me why? It says that should not have wives, and I will not understand why not. That's the reason. Lo yasu lamali. Afilu achaz v'siras liber is lo yisayno. So Rabbi Shimon does explain. The fact that Torah gives you the reasoning tells you that I have two different things over here. I have exercise cause not to have wives, and in addition, I have another did not to have a wife who's Mesiras Liboy, and that can be even one wife. So they go to Shittos. That it says the fact that Torah gives you the reason tells you that here you limit the reason. Here the reason limits. How you know 18? David had children. What? So he has the first child, is Amnon, who was born to Achinoim. והשלישי אבשלום בן מאחו, והרביעי אדוניה בן חגיס, חמישי שפטיה בן אביטל, והשישי ישרון לעגלו אשת דוד. 6 children to 6 wives. אלה יולדו לדוד בחברון. וקומו לנובי, אם מעט, if this is a little, והוסיפו לכו כהינו וכהינו. I'm going to add you like this and like this. So כמו דרשות, כהינו שיס וכהינו שיס. Another 6, another 6. Havalu tam nushay. That's a good 18. Atgul Ravino Emo Kahino Tartisrei Vechahino Sribar. Maybe it means that he's Cain, the first Cain, that means you have 6. I'll add another 6, you get to 12. But then I'm going to add, the next Cain is whatever you have, I'm going to double it. So you have 12, I'll make it 24. There's a price like that. It says Kaino Vechaino. So the Vav doubles the 12 to 24. The next Kaino doubles the 24 to 48. There's a price like that. So you have your different sheets, 18, 24, 48. What's the reason Tani Don? The first Kain is clearly 6, adding another 6. Makainu Kam sheet, you're adding 6. Afkainu Basra sheet. Something more about Michal. 1 second, we forgot about Michal. Michal was the daughter of Shaul who was given to the daughter of Melech. Why is she not mentioned among the 6 women we just said? Eglo zu Michal. It says Eglo to Michal. He liked her like an egg, like a calf. As we saw before, that Shimshon called his wife an eglo. It's not before, it's a Yerushalmi. Yerushalmi says that a wife is called an eglo. The Michal of children. So what was that? Michal was making fun of David HaMelech who was dancing in front of the Aron HaKodesh. It says over there that she was punished. She had no children. So answer number 1 more says she didn't have children until the day she died, but the day she died she did have a child. And that's referring to in the pasuk. So well, that can't be. We talk about when he was living in Hebron. Remember, David HaMelech was 7.5 years a king before he became king of Kol HaAm. It says there it was born in Hebron, not when Michal died. When Michal died, then it's clearly not, because Michal was when they brought the army to Yerushalayim. She was looking through the window. But there is the Melech David mefazes umekarka livnei Hashem. She saw the Melech dancing in front of Hashem, in front of the army. Vatavas, and she was mezalzel on the king. Meaning that goes with what they have there. That because she was making fun, she lost out. She lost her koyach. Right? So she got paid back for the fact that she made fun of David. I mean, what it means like this, she did have children, but only until she made fun of David. Once she made fun of David, she had no children until she died. It says that David took more wives to Pilakshim. We'll see more what it means Pilakshim in a moment. But Mashra, there was more than 18. So well, no, the Miluish would answer. That brought you to 18. My Noshu Pilakshim was living to Noshu Pilakshim, Yudom Rav, Noshu Biksuvo, Uve Kiddushim, Pilakshim, Veloy Ksuvo, Uve Loy Kiddushim. That's our Girso. That a woman have Ksuvo Kiddushim, Pilakshim no Ksuvo Kiddushim. It's so kind of a relationship, but doesn't really, it's not solidified, it doesn't have the thing Kiddushin that we have. David had 4 children. These 400 were children of the Efetoya that he got in the war. They all had a bloiris, which is that you grow the hair in the back and not in the front. That's what the goyim used to do. So they're all sitting in golden wagons. And they go in front of the armies. They were the strong men of the because they came from the goyim. They had the genes of the goyim, and they were balei grifim. So Tamar was Vasif Hashem. What's the story of Tamar? Just in short, there was David HaMelech, as we mentioned before, had a son named Amnon, and Amnon fell in love with his sister. The way the Navi says the sister, the Pashup Shah the Navi, it's the half sister because she was the sister of Shalom. So Shalom, meaning it was she was a sister from both sides, same father, same mother of Shalom. According to what we're learning now, she's really the daughter of the same mother of Avshalom. And Amnon wanted her, and he tricked the king, as we'll see in a moment, to make Tamar cook for him food, and then he raped her when they were alone, and caused a lot of tsar and was a terrible cherpa, terrible bizyonis in the house of David HaMelech. So it says over there that when Tamar came to Amnon, Amnon said, "Come sleep with me." So Tamar said, "This is not the proper thing to do, Bas Yisrael. Ask the king. I'm sure he's going to allow you to marry me." Why? Why is he allowed to marry? Is she a half sister? So the reason that I can marry a sister. So she wasn't a sister. She was about, in other words, even though they came from a mother who eventually married David HaMelech, but she was she was born, everyone understands right now, as Bas Yifas Toyar. She was the daughter of the Yifas Toyar in the Milchama. So here we have an interesting machlokes Rashi Toises. So to get to the Indian is a Bas Yifas Toyar. Are you allowed to have the first be'ilo with the Yifas Toyar? Yifas Toyar, what is the woman you see in the war? Can the person who sees her in the war be with her in the war for at least for the first be'ila? Or the first be'ila is also until she becomes like Yeris and he brings her into the house. So Rashi learns even the first be'ila is also. Toises brings over here right from here. So I don't understand. If she was born after be'ila, David HaMelech took her to the house, made her into a Jew, and then married her, and then she had a child with David HaMelech as a Jew, so she is a half sister of Amnon. And Lamad, David HaMelech had a relationship with her in the war before she was Jewish. That's your Mizraya. So sometimes it could be that she was already pregnant, not from David. That the father wasn't David HaMelech. She was pregnant from before, and therefore it's a child that was born before she became, or at least it was conceived before she became Jewish. The more goes on dash in the story. Amnon Reya Shmuel Yernodov ben Shmayo Achi David. He was a friend, and he was the one who gave the eitzah to Amnon how to get a sister. Ishchacham Avido Morav Ishchacham Levisho, the Russia. In other words, the Nopi says the story that Amnon fell in love with Tamar, and he just couldn't eat, couldn't drink. He was very sick because he wanted her. So he says, "Why you look so bad?" He tells the friend. I'll tell you the truth, I'm in love with my sister. So he told him, "This is what you should do. Pretend that you're very sick. Tell them that he's going to come to visit you. And you tell him, I want my sister Tamar to make for me some food." I wanted to make for me the food. She prepared for him the food. She made for him some things like donuts. That's almost prepared in the pasuk. She did it in the oil. Amnon hated her. After he raped her, he hated her. So they want my time. Why he hated her? She had a hair, and she caused him to be krushivcha. Right? She can't count children anymore. Why is he hates her? It's by mistake. Anymore. She did it purposely. She did her hair that way in order to do those days. She made a krushivcha. So it was a big name to Bnei Yisrael. They don't have armpit hair and they don't have Sarah base hair. So there's no hair there to make a kushvivcha. She wasn't a full Jew. So that's why she did have hair over there. So the pasuk goes on and says, she had a special Ketores Pasim that all the Bnei Yisrael had. She tore it. What happened? Amnon hated her and she sent her away. She says, this is even worse. You raped me, now at least keep me, make me your wife. So Amnon says, no, I hate you, and she sent her away. So she went, she put ashes on her, and she did a big demonstration against what Amnon did. So says the Gemara, she made a big gather. What was the gather? She said, look what can happen when you're not careful enough with the rayas, with the znus. He said, by the king, that's what happened. Kosher for regular people. In the tznu is kach, she was a very tznu, the fruits is a how they could be. All you know, goes with that is when they came and did exer, what was exer, so they went off the base, ala yichud ve'ala pnuyim. Meaning that there should be a yichud with Eshes Ish and with the pnuyim, meaning not to be alone with a woman who's not married. So the more yichud deraisi. Yichud is a yichud deraisa. The Omar yichud mishum shir ben yotzedik remez the yichud min haTorah. How do we know yichud min haTorah? Minayin shneimar ki sitcho achicho ben imecho. talk about someone who convinces his somebody else to do a Avodah Zarah. It says within the pasuk, your brother, the son of your mother. Ben and Macy's ben Avin or Macy's. Why does it say the brother, son of your mother? A maternal brother. And if it's a paternal brother, like, well, what's the point? Ben Imoy means the son can be with his mother. It's a drasha, the Rebbe's son can be with the mother, not anybody else. And they kept not only with the mother, they kept with any other rights. And goes with a yichud. The only yichud, it was already yichud, but not a woman who's not married. They did a yichud kept with a woman who's not married because of the story of Amnon. The word goes on, it says another drasha. Adoniah says, I will be king. What exactly was? I mean, it could be probably the reason we're bringing this, because we mentioned the sons of the king of David. One of them was Adoniah ben Chagis. What does it mean? He's trying to be king. Meaning, he wanted to put the crown on his head and did not fit. Why the crown did not fit? So Rashi explains that there was a bar in the middle of the crown, and anybody who was royal Malchus had a little bit of an indentation in his head where the bar fit. And if you don't have that indentation, that means that the crown doesn't belong in your head, and you're not going to be king. He tried to do it, it didn't really work. Says the Gemara, he had the wagon and horsemen and people running in front of him. They all removed their spleen and they took out the skin below their legs, so they're able to run without being tired. There's a type of a gevura that they have this very special army around them, and that's what happened with Adoniah. So the Mishnah, Lo Yarbel Susim, he should not have too many horses. Ela Kadim Merkavta, what he needs for his wagon. Don't have too much money. Only to feed his soldiers. The Kosiv was Sevator, Lishmoish writes Sevator on his name. He goes to war, takes the Sevator with him. He goes inside, brings with him. Yoshib Bedini is always with him. Macy the Kenegdi sits down to eat, puts it right next to him. Shanem Avoisoim is always with him. The Korabuk Mechav always will read from it. So go on to Rabbi Le'Yarbel Susi, we should not have too many horses. You want to have no horses, even enough for his wagon and horses and his horsemen. For himself, he should have too much. He should have enough what he needs for his chariot. What do you mean? So what do you mean? If he has horses for his wagon, so what else does he need horses? Horses for no reason. Just horses that are not being used. Even one horse that's not doing anything should not have. Don't have more than too many horses. Even one horse. Don't tell me if he has 20 horses, so every one lav. So every lav of every horse that he has. For him, he should not have enough for his wagons, for his chariot. You want to tell me if not, I would think he can't have for his chariot? What does it mean lafouche? I mean lafouche is to have a little bit more horses to be able to replace, right? Meaning, Rashi brings that you don't have to have exactly. You have a wagon, so he has 2 horses. You can have a few more for the wagon. It doesn't mean mamish exact. Rashi brings also maybe he can replace some horses when they get tired. He can have as much as he needs. So only to feed his soldiers. Could be he can have enough money to support his troops. He can have enough money to support the kingdom. I mean, what would be the Avim in like that? He can have a little bit more, doesn't have to be exact. We said all the loy. Don't have loy, not something else. Loy. He should not have enough too many wives. What is it coming to exclude? Tell me the regular people can have as many wives as they want. It's only a thing by a king not to have too many wives. Says the Gemara, Yehuda asked the question. It says he had 40 urvos. Urvos where you put the horses. So what is it? 404,000. הכיצדים 40,000 הצטבלו, so you כל אחד ואחד יהיו ב4,000 אור וסוסים. ו4,000 הצטבלו, so you כל אחד ואחד יהיו 40,000 אור וסוסים. In other words, the way tzabos is the big house where horses are, and the urva is the small section for the horse. So there was either 4,000 houses with 40,000 horses in each one, or 40,000 houses with 4,000 each one. In other words, the number of horses that Shlomo had was 40,000 times 4. That's 40,000 times 400. Times 4,000, I apologize. Says the Gemara, says that Shlomo had money, was not considering anything. There was money, just the money was like stones. Like Kasha. Before he married Baspari, money was worthless. Once he married Baspari, money had some worth, but not more than stones. Mashur says before he married Baspari, he was all ruchni, he was all spiritual. So money was worthless. Nobody cared about money. After he married Baspari, he got more involved in Gashmias, money got some worth. When he put a little reed in the sea. He caused some sand to come up. And that's where Rome was built. Rome was going to be the destruction of Yisrael eventually. Meaning Shlomo HaMelech stopped being so spiritual, and that's what happened. Why the Torah doesn't give us the reasons for the psukim? Because there's two psukim the Torah explained itself. The God Elohim Shlomo HaMelech was Nichshel. Don't have too many wives. So they have to have wives because they're going to make serious living. So I don't have to worry about that, and therefore you can have many wives. It says that when Shlomo became old, the woman did persuade him. Chazal say not him, but the fact that he was not moiche by them and the wives, that's considered to be him. But the wives, at the end of the day, we see that it wasn't good for Shlomo. It says the pasuk that you're not allowed too many horses because you go to Mitzrayim. Shlomo says, I'm not worried about that. He did go back to Mitzrayim because even and in other words, Shlomo HaMelech was even though the Torah says the reason Shlomo was true, the reason doesn't apply to him, and then it did apply to him as well. So therefore, the Torah does not say reasons usually. Says the Gemara, because of the cemetery of Shmuel, right to the Torah, his name. In other words, he should not take his father's. He should have his own. Right? He has to have his own. Omar Ravo, or the Giyus here is Omar Rabo. In general, forget about a king. Even though the fathers give a son cemetery, mitzvah to mishloi, it's mitzvah to write his own. You have to write your own cemetery. It says by king not to have. Not for only the king. The Giyus is different. Which the king has to have his own. Not somebody else doesn't have to have his own. The king has two Torahs. He has to write two Torahs on his own. He has to have one that it's always with him, and one that stays in his house. So the arguer says, to have his wife, it makes it very small, puts it on his hand. It's always in front of him. He should not take it to the bathhouse, the shower. It needs to be a place where he can read it, which means not Beis HaMerchetz, not Beis HaKiseh, and that is what that's a Torah. That's a special thing by a king. That he has a mitzvah to have two Torahs. A regular Jew has a mitzvah to have only one Torah, his own Torah, and not what he got from his father. We said, we'll stop over here, and we'll continue from here in the next half.